The South Carolina GOP primary is tomorrow, but until then, we have CPAC, a chance for Republicans to spread their message of conservatism. And I want to bring on now Bobby Eberle, host of the 13-Minute News Hour. Bobby, welcome. You spent the last 3 days at this event. What were the main themes this year and any of your highlights and lowlights?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, I'd say, okay, so to sum things up, I think it's anti-woke, it's anti-globalism. Those are the things that people are really thirsting for, ready to fight back on. And you really had an anti-endless wars, right? I mean, protect the homeland, America first, no aid for Ukraine, and these other, frivolous type of expenditures when we don't have money. We just don't have it. But those are the main kind of highlights, and I'd like to, the El Salvador president Bukele, who spoke yesterday, he hit the nail on the head. I mean, this went from the most corrupt country in the Western Hemisphere to the safest. It's now the safest country in the entire hemisphere.
Right.
And he did that by tackling globalism. And he basically, in this weird way, he kind of lectured the United States, but in a way that it was just like, here's what you need to do. Here's how the globalists took over our country and how you need to fight back. And I think it is words that everybody should study and take to heart, because when you see how they've taken control of the media and entertainment and education, and now we see what's going on with Google's Gemini and everything, and it's just so corrupt, the leftist influence, that
Bobby,
we have to fight back.
For sure. With Bukele, let's not forget the origins of MS-13 are in El Salvador. I think him bringing awareness at this event is crucially important, because what's happening is that a lot of these guys, they'll come up, they'll work their way up through the north and cross our borders, and then we've seen semblances of MS-13 at our homebound. So it's very important to shed light on this. I want to switch gears for a minute here. Lara Trump, she spoke on night one at CPAC. She's eyeing the co-chair position of the Republican National Committee with Republican leader from North Carolina, Michael Whatley. So she already has the endorsement from her father-in-law. What do you think the strategy is for putting her in this position?
I think it's to play off, the Trump power and endorsement. It's just real weird the way the RNC dynamics are working out, because I know a number of Republican National Committee members, and they'd actually favor someone else for national chair. And so it's just interesting on seeing if Trump's picks will actually go through. But we need restructuring in general. Rona has been just a tremendous disaster, and losing election after election after election. Fundraising is not where it needs to be. And that's what the National Committee, whether state or national or county, as I'm a county chairman, you need to raise money and you need to turn out the vote. And she's done a poor job at both. So I'm glad she's going to go. But the way this all shakes out will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, and her carrying on the, MAGA movement, America First movement. I think that's a lot. A lot of people, support Lara Trump in this venture. I want to talk about something that's been happening in the news right now. Biden is reportedly looking to go around Congress and make it harder for immigrants to pass the initial screening for asylum. Now, this executive order would also allow border agents to quickly deport new asylum seekers who don't meet this criteria. But this is very strange to me, Bobby, because, for the last several months, Biden has been saying that he can't make any of these changes on his own. It must only go through Congress and Congress only. So what is changing now?
Right. You've got a big dynamic, right? It's like blame Congress, blame Congress. They're the only ones that can do anything. And yet there's this huge elephant that's just sitting out there, and it's called the November election. And his polling numbers are in the tank. And what we saw, there's no real contest out there with the Democrats. There's none really in the Republicans either. But from exit polling in Iowa and New Hampshire, you saw that even states like that are ranking immigration and the open borders as their top priority. So it transcends just Republicans, though. It's independents, it's Democrats, and he has to do something. And whatever he's going to do is going to be fake. It's just trying to influence people, propaganda. They don't want to shut the borders down because of the leftist agenda. But they're feeling that pinch to get reelected above anything else, and that's why you're seeing this type of thing.
Yeah. So, I'm currently in San Diego where we're experiencing our own influx of migrants, specifically now Chinese nationals making their way through. They've officially, Bobby, outpaced Mexican nationals in this key region, and they're using TikTok as a means of passing through the border, and it's working.
Yeah, yeah, I believe it's 20,000 this fiscal year, and they're mostly coming now through California. After me in Texas, we're starting to clamp things down. But the thing is that this again, it brings to light the whole national security aspect of all of this. It's not just Democrat voters. It's also the spies and the espionage and these people that come in that above all, if you're talking about immigration and bringing people that want to seek the American dream, above all, they should want to be Americans. And what you're seeing is a whole host of people that don't care about America, that don't want to be Americans, that seek to do us harm. They're beating up cops, they're raping women, they're assaulting children. And it's just, we don't want those people here. We need mass deportation of everyone that's come in the last 3 years. These adult, military age men, that none of them belong here. They all need to go back. And whatever Biden does is it's just a very, very thin attempt to gain election points.
For sure. When Trump says election interference, this is exactly what he's talking about. More numbers for Team Biden, more controversy for Trump as he, enters all these indictments and goes in and out of court. And then, we watch his poll numbers shoot up. So they have to do something to kind of counteract this, right? It's always that game.
Right.
Bobby Eberle, thanks so much for joining me today. Say hi to my crew down there in D.C. at CPAC. We'll talk soon.
I will. I'll pass it along.
Take care.
All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.